Okay, we have an in-guest studio today. Does this sound familiar? Start the day with a setback at home, whatever that issue may be, and then you go into work, and then it kicks into second gear with a coworker or maybe your boss. We're talking about conflict. You just have one of those bad days, and it just goes on and on and on. Well, there is a way to deal with this, and joining me now is one of the co-authors of this book here, How to Have a Nice Conflict. It's called Have a Nice Conflict, and Dr. Mike Patterson is here. So essentially what we're talking about is how to avoid in the first place maybe a conflict, and if you do have a conflict, how to deal with it.
Well, we'd rather say prevent conflict than avoid it.
Okay.
Prevent is a proactive approach that we can develop by getting to know the people we're working with, finding out what's important to them, how they like to operate, and then choosing behaviors on our part that meet their needs, that don't trigger conflict in them.
Okay, so conflict is something that can be very awkward for people. I mean, you deal with it maybe at work, which is, in my opinion, it's more comfortable with a fight with your significant other than it is like a friend or somebody that you're not as close with, like a coworker. So this is unique though, because instead of just giving like the how-to and little tips, you actually tell a story. Talk about that.
Yes, absolutely. My company's been teaching people how to have nice conflicts and build productive relationships in corporate training seminars for 40 years, and we wanted to find a way to make these powerful ideas accessible to a broader audience. And so we also knew that story was the best way to teach. So we package these powerful ideas and Have a Nice Conflict, which is a story of John Doyle. He's a hard-charging, all-in sales manager who's hitting his head on the ceiling at work and at home because he has trouble dealing with conflict. So the story is about John learning lessons, how to develop the 5 keys to nice conflicts. He meets a coach, it's some adventures involved, and it's a very readable approach.
So it's a story, so it makes it easier to follow and you're not just kind of, getting the lecture.
People don't like to read how-to books and textbooks. Stories teach powerful lessons in a very enjoyable way.
I agree. I'm one of those people who have a hard time. I can follow a story. Real quick, we have about 10 seconds. What's one tip that you have for people to prevent conflict?
Get to know the people you're with. Get to know them really well, what they like, what they dislike, and then connect with them. Give them what they want, not what you want.
Okay, great. Well, if you would like to learn more about how to have a nice conflict, we are giving away 3 books like the one I'm holding here. First 3 callers, phone number 657-5409. Call in. The first 3 are going to win a copy of this book. Dr. Mike Patterson, thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle.
I appreciate it. Some good tips, something we can all definitely, benefit from. Absolutely.